Okay. Well, the next 5 years of evolution and integration. So we got predicted evolution, we got collaborative synergies. One of the things that we're going to be concerned about in the healthcare environment is interoperabilities and different standards. There's the Fast Healthcare Interoperability Resource and HL7. So standards define how healthcare information can be exchanged between different computer systems, regardless of how it's stored. Benefits are facilitating the data exchange. So you can imagine, and just in like in cloud environments or other applications, you might use OSCAL or a readily assimilated language or RESTful APIs that can make the integration for AI systems more straightforward. So it's easier to have a more of a kind of a wider adaptation for that information capability. There's the health information exchange platforms. They can facilitate the sharing of health information among organizations. That can include a centralized platform for AI systems to access diverse data sets. So with that, I guess wider adaptation of a readily assimilated format or language or type of data, that makes it possible for large language models to use more information and then subsequently be more accurate and more timely in how they process that information, whether it's clinical records or coming up with possible diagnosis of a condition. So and then going into diagnostics and treatment planning, you got radiology and imaging. There's a lot of possibilities there, like, for radiologists or interventional radiologists out there. Imagine like all the possibilities that you might have with an X-ray, an MRI, or CT, and then across all of those things, AI can pinpoint, certain factors or anomalies in all of that data and correlate it in a way that it says this is possible or this is a possible problem that they're having, maybe from a vascular perspective or maybe something beyond that. And that radiologist can say, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I see that too. Instead of having to really take a deep look into all these charts and data and come up with something, AI can help point them in the right direction or make the right analysis if it does. But like I said before, it helps to have expertise in that field to do that. But if you imagine if you're a radiologist or interventional radiologist, that can definitely expedite your process of how you're analyzing that data, how you're looking at it, and make their time a lot more useful. And then of course in pathology, AI can examine microscopic images of tissue samples, and they can identify cancerous cells, and that can reduce diagnostic errors and enabling intervention if that's the course of action to be taking. But yeah, it can definitely speed up that time that you could think of, if somebody's doing a lot of research from a pathology perspective or investigating cells or whether it's cancerous or not, that data can look at patterns in the cell or even images and say, these are things that we're familiar with that typically indicate cancer, and come up with a much quicker diagnosis or point professionals in the right direction. There's improved outcomes and synergies. AI algorithms analyze large volumes of medical data to support professionals in making that decision process. Like I said, as humans, we can only assimilate so much data simultaneously. AI has the ability to take massive amounts of information and process it in a way that's more easily understood or assimilated. There's personalized medicine. I think this is one of the biggest applications or possibilities with AI, because it has that ability to identify genetic mutations and develop targeted therapies. Every person is unique. We all have certain conditions. We all have certain, genomic factors, and are, nobody is quite the same. So, that personalized approach that AI can possibly improve things is definitely a huge development, for like pharmacogenomics, understanding how genetic differences affect drug response, enabling personalized medicine. So, you always hear those medical commercials may not be suitable for XYZ or may cause such conditions X, Y, and Z. Please consult your physician as these may be life threatening, etc. AI can mitigate those those potential risks. It can make life a lot easier for somebody that's like, how do I prevent that? Oh, based on this information, these people are more likely to suffer adverse effects or allergies or sudden death or whatever it is. So that there's good possibilities. Their disease risk assessment predictive models assess individual risk for genetic diseases and help preventative measures. There might be certain genes or information, biomarkers, etc., that indicate, hey, this person's more likely to have this condition down the road ahead of time before a physician actually diagnoses that. Disease prediction, like I said, is a part of that, analyzing all that patient data and their specific conditions. So there can be a wide set of different types of data that's pertinent to the person, data that's pertinent to what they're taking, and then also conditions around them and pre-existing conditions. AI can take all of that information and help a doctor or a physician come up with a process to address a disease or something along those lines. Biomarker identification is a part of that process. So imagine if somehow there was information about PSA, which is prostate specific antigen that might indicate a prostate cancer, or C-reactive protein in the blood can be an indication of inflammation or rheumatoid arthritis. Those are like some of the things that it might look at, or troponin in the blood, which could indicate or be an indicator of myocardial infarction. So there's a lot of possibilities there, a lot of biomarkers that might be picked up that might take longer for a human to do. So those are some of the cool things as far as evolution integration possibilities.